I wondered how many others of you have ever puzzled over the term warehouse. Not in the sense of um, places to live, but places to store things. The warehouse that was said by some BBC programmes, for instance, to house an enormous market. That they showed footage suggesting that there had been many market stalls in a really massive warehouse in London. And that, if I remember correctly, there'd been problems keeping it open. Scarborough had an indoor market. And I think that sadly that had to close. I once visited a really lovely indoor market at Halifax, and Aberdeen had a lovely indoor market as well, and Leeds has still, I think, a lovely indoor market. Yes, I mean, warehouses, though, may be even slightly different things. To some extent, they would be needed if there were sort of working factories, somewhat, like barns are needed for hay and straw, possibly. And so on. Yes, I just wanted to say that I am lucky enough to have some dictionary, some printed dictionaries, and I've looked up the term where is it not. I mean, I did wonder, that was partly why I thought of looking up warehouse, because I was puzzled that I thought there would be some respects of being perhaps in the Bradford area at one time, warehouses storing clothes, actually, and thinking of where there as spelt WEAR. And so I looked up the term in the Shorter Oxford English Dictionary, and that is a dictionary that's partly a collaboration, I think, between Great Britain and America, the US. And yes, there are many terms and associations with the word where. Even talking about seaweed gathering. I don't know why they're talking about seaweed gathering and the right to gather seaweed. Maybe because also they surprisingly talk about an Adam Smith quote. Now, Adam Smith, we think of, like some people say, that John Smith is a typical English name. Well, actually, Adam Smith was a famous Scottish economist, early economist. So Smith sometimes has been a Scottish name. But the quote by Adam Smith is about, well, I can't see very well at the moment. I haven't got my glasses on. I've got my contact lenses in. Where's it gone again? It's about the capricious nature of fashion, sometimes encouraging people to buy goods from abroad rather than make them themselves in their own country. Um, I'm going to skip the reading of the actual quote. Um, it is, strangely enough, on page what can I see? 2505. Right, it's on page 2505 in the Shorter Oxford English Dictionary, printed in Great Britain by David Stamford, printer in the university. Copyright 1973. So, yes, Adam Smith was saying that, and I have been encouraged to talk somewhat. I don't know exactly how this is going to be solved, but yes, I once watched a very good children's film, a film involving children and some respects about children's perception of things, called, I think it was Millions, about some children finding sacks of millions of pounds that had fallen off from a railway train or something, or found them in the attic. I can't quite remember, and sort of all what entails from that. But just to, I mean, I think they ended up being where there was worry that there might be some sort of disillusionment with it all, but there was sort of charitable attempts for the school and everything, I think, that came into the film. But the school they were attending. But yes, if something like a house is worth, like if there are no houses available under, say, even £90,000, if someone was going to insist on £90,000 in metal, in nickel, or in coins, that would be an awful lot of coins, wouldn't it? It really would. It would be a massive amount of coins, which is maybe, I mean, the Chinese were worried about that aspect of the economy. And they are talking, the talk first came from them about trying to cut out cash altogether. And I think that would be really a little bit worrying.